Ladies and gentlemen, here I am again, the beginning of another week, at the end of another week, in the beginning of a new one. And what a powerful week this has been. And I thought the first two recordings that I made, as difficult as they were, it was going to get easier. Boy, was I wrong on that. This week's assignment was on blame. This week's study was on how do I, in my life, blame others for my results. This is something that I've been aware of for a while, but I never thought it was such a pervasive issue in my life. When I started the project this week, journaling all the times that I blame people for the results in my life, I was hit with a big slap of reality right off the bat. But I could see through all areas, every facet of my life, where I had spent years, decades, just blaming people for what's gone wrong. What's gone wrong in business, what's gone wrong with my body, what's gone wrong with my relationships, what's gone wrong with my living situation, my money situation. My goodness, I don't think I've been so embarrassed about my actions. Let me delve into this a little bit further. The question was, where in my life, what am I learning in my life? What am I learning about my darkness, and what am I learning about how I'm blaming others? And the first example that I have to share with you is I was at the gym the other day with my brother. It's become a part of my life, and it's been something that I've been so grateful for. And watching my brother, this Adonis, this good-looking cat, it was such a hard thing for me in comparison. His chapter 23 to my chapter 1 was a very hard thing for me, and I found myself in the blame situation. I even started blaming my parents for my genetics. Can you believe that? Looking at my brother like, how could he get all the good genes and I got stuck with all this? Blame. My gosh. Another big one for me. Painful one for me, as I've spoke candidly on my videos before about the love of my life walking out. And I thought that I got a grasp on the problems that I had caused myself with my anger and my darkness and all of the other things that I've done. This one might be the biggest area of concern that I've had, because as that relationship was coming to an end, I wanted to blame her. I wanted to blame her for being shallow, cold, disconnected. I wanted to blame her roommates for taking them, I even said, I remember saying candidly to my friends, I lost the battle to her roommate. She chose a roommate over me. Blame. Just blame to everybody, instead of looking at the results of my own life and what I've been doing in my own life and the choices that I've been making myself. The good news that I have found from this is that I am fully aware of this. I've become very clear at the blocks in my life that have come from blaming others and blaming the world around me, finding blame in every possible way that I could to validate my shitty life, to validate my shitty decisions, to validate my weakness, to validate my smallness. I went through a training one time that talked about not being small, and I'm just brushing over the surface of what they hit with that, and choosing to be bigger and choosing to step into our own power. And even then, I would still continue to blame, to validate for the lack of results that I have in my life. Blame myself, but not in a way that you would think would be a valuable learning lesson. Because I would go to the space of blame and shame. It's just so destructive. I'm telling myself that I'm such an insignificant person, and I'm so not worth love, and not worth success, and not worth having the kind of life that I envied from so many people. And I'd see these people, even at some points when I first met my mentor a decade ago, was envious of his life at that time, didn't even know the struggles he was going through. And as I've spent the week journaling the times that I've stepped into blame, it's really opened my eyes to a power of being able to, that's not the right word, it's opened my eyes to being able to find my own power and remove the blocks in my life for blaming others and taking responsibility for my choices, my actions, my decisions, my lack of results. I'm grateful to my parents for who I am, the body that I was given through genetics. It is a powerful one. And as I got past the blame, as I got past the excuses, I've seen more progress in being healthy and strong and confident in my body in 2 months than I've seen since I was 20 years old, 18 years ago. I had an experience in business today where I walked into a meeting somewhat ignorant about the conversation that was going to be had. When the issues were brought up during that conversation, instead of stepping to a place of blame, instead of stepping into a place of it's somebody else's fault, I was able to step into an accountability space. And I was so amazed to see the conversation shift from being impossible roadblocks, from being impossible fixes, to everybody coming together and being on board with creating a situation that was a win-win situation. And it was simply by removing the blame and taking accountability. I'm grateful for mentors in my life that are able to say the hard things, to tell me the hard truths, to give me bread when I'm begging for bread instead of giving me a stone, so that I can see things like this, the blame situation, and how it has been blocking my success, and how I've chose to be so small and blame others for all the problems in my life, and having the opportunity to step out of that shadow and take full responsibility. The power that comes from that is immense. The freedom that comes from that is overwhelming. The gratitude I feel was overwhelming. It has left me with such a feeling of peace to know that I don't have to be small. I don't have to be powerless. I don't have to blame others because I am being weak. In fact, screw that. Forget that lifestyle. It's brought nothing but pain and anger. And I'm so grateful to sit and provide a video, and hopefully some people have seen this or will see this that can understand, and I'll help them understand that blaming others, blaming situations, blaming circumstances is so destructive. There is a peace on the other side of letting go of that fundamentally flawed thought process. I'm just filled with joy right now. I'm filled with peace. I'm filled with power. I'm filled with strength, and I am filled with energy. Thank you, Garrett, once again. I say it every week, but I thank you again. And I thank everybody that stood by me, that saw through my bullshit. So I choose not to blame anymore. And I choose to stand in full accountability for my decisions, for my actions, and for my results. That is the only way. Garrett always says love and light. And I've heard that before, and I love it. And in love and light to all of you.